hope you're doing well. First, hope the lighting isn't too strange, but I rarely film at night. Today's video is going to be really quick. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Year of Horror Club, but I wanted to talk about this club that I run on Discord that I've run for almost 2 years now, because some of you I haven't talked about it on this channel in forever, so you may not have heard about it. And for those of you who have been members for a while, I have a couple updates I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of, although if you're in the Discord, you've probably already seen me post these. But going back to 20 or late 2018, I think that's when it was, I had the idea to launch a book club, the Year of Horror Book Club, where for every single month we would read a different book, and each of those books would be one of the most disturbing books of all time. We did that for a few months, and then I pretty quickly realized a lot of the books that are considered the most disturbing books of all time are ones that myself and many others just would flat out not be interested in reading, that would be very painful reads. So instead it shifted to reading a different horror novel, just in general, sometimes thriller, a different one every single month. And it went so well in 2019, I decided to do it again in 2020. And pretty quickly, the book club grew to beyond just being a book club. We have different sort of text channels where people can talk about horror movies, horror books recommendations, horror TV shows, horror podcasts, horror video games, horror YouTube channels. Just think of it as sort of a Discord group that's kind of like Halloween Town, where it's Halloween all year round. It's even gotten to the point where we've all made such good friendships. We're talking about like our families, babies have been like born. It's just really a wonderful, wonderful just community in general that's so much more than just talking about horror books. And like I mentioned, it grew beyond being just a book club, and slowly over time and psychologically, granted, you know, I went to school for psychologically, I think it makes sense that over time the discussion in those monthly book club pick channels has decreased, and instead the discussion has really grown outside of those groups. And again, I think that makes sense because reading a book every single month is just for everybody a big time commitment, so it makes sense that there's going to just be more active discussion in those other groups, and I don't think that there's anything wrong or bad about that. Now this next part I already said in the Discord group, and I feel bad saying because I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, even when it comes to something like this, with work, with YouTube, with anything. And that's that because, again, this has become so much more than a book club. I'm shifting from every single month of the year having a new book that we're voting on and discussing to instead definitely always at least in October, because of course October. During October we will of course have a different book club pick where we discuss. For 2020, in case you want to join, it's Something Wicked This Way Comes. And then occasionally throughout the year, if there's a big horror release that a ton of people want to talk about, I'll also make a book club section for that as well. Part of me feels a little bit bad making that update, but hopefully you can understand from my perspective, and from if you pictured any other booktuber. There are a lot of booktubers who run book clubs or readathons for 1 week out of the year readathon, or they do a month-long or a few week-long readathon where it's a book club. For me, just hopefully you can understand, it's not realistic that every single month for the rest of my life I'm posting these. And I think beyond anything of what I've said so far, I also think when something's going on 24/7, it makes it a little bit less special, and I think that's why a lot of booktubers don't do readathons for, you know, effectively ever, and instead they do it for 1 month or 1 week out of the year. And also the nice thing about doing this in October is it often won't just be a book discussion, because again, October, there's often huge horror movie releases or horror TV show releases. So we're also gonna have a text channel about Haunting of Bly Manor, the sequel to Haunting of Hill House, which I am so incredibly excited about. So again, I really hope that this doesn't come across as a sad update. I'm still gonna go strong and keep going. I'm still gonna be really active, as I'm sure everybody else who already is gonna keep being. And if you are one of those, again, there was like a handful of people who really loved that like sort of push to have a new book to read every month and to discuss with people. Again, the horror book text channel, this isn't going to make sense to any of you who have never been in it, but there's still the horror book text channel where you can discuss and use spoiler tags, or you can private message each other and do buddy read-alongs, or there are so many book club Discord groups that have monthly books that people read, including I think there's even one that is horror. So if you want that push to read a new book every month and discuss it with people, I'll also link some helpful Discord groups down below to kind of get you started. So that is why, and I think I referred to this at the beginning and I never touched on it again, that's why this is going from the Year of Horror Book Club to simply the Year of Horror Club. Again, I'll have it linked down below. Please check it out if you're not already a member member. It's just a very fun, casual, chill place to talk about all things horror and also all things not horror. There are places for that as well on it. The one thing I will say is if you are going to join, please make sure on the left-hand side there's a section that says information and rules. There are just some, you know, again, this is a very casual club, but there are some just overall high-level guidelines. Again, I hope you guys are doing well. I know for many of us this is our favorite time of year, even if, you know, we're not necessarily out and about as usual. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.